bring you peace of mind. I'm Darren Jacobs, and I'm here to help you make sense of your dollars. Welcome to Dollars and Cents, the show that breaks down the financial world in ways that matter to you. No jargon, no confusion, just real conversations about money, your money. So join me every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on WESN for Dollars and Cents.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
The home of Caribbean content is growing, and we welcome you to be a part of the #1 platform for young personalities who are driven to make a positive impact in society. As we continue to reach every corner of Trinidad and Tobago through our daily broadcasts, our social media pages, or through our 75+ digital billboards across the nation, contact us to learn about our competitive rates via marketing at wesncc.com or call us at 628-5835. WESN Content Capital, television with a difference.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
WESN.
Good morning and welcome to AM Prime on WESN. I am Naomi McNish.
I'm Takia Thompson.
How are you this morning, Takia?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good as well. Takia and I were both saying just how tired we were this morning.
Yeah.
But as always, we are very happy to be here and to start your morning with you.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
The first things first this morning, we want to get into some news updates, some very important topics that we found over the past day or two. So Takia is going to start us off this morning.
Yes, so diving right into it, over the weekend, a series of murders, including 2 within the Tunapuna constituency, has reignited discussions around the proposed Zones of Special Operations, or ZOSO, crime-fighting legislation. According to Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander, the recent killings might have been prevented if the ZOSO framework had already been in place. Minister Alexander said he is not satisfied with current murder rates and believes the ZOSO strategy, designed to combine enhanced law enforcement presence with community support, education, and employment assistance in high-risk areas, could be part of the solution. But despite passing the lower house earlier this year, the Zones of Special Operations bill collapsed in the Senate on January 27th, after several independent senators voted against it, halting its progress. Alexander reiterated that the police are doing their best under current constraints, including budget limitations inherited from previous administrations, but said stronger tools are needed to curb violent crime. He also urged ordinary citizens to avoid contact with individuals suspected of criminal activity, warning that even association can put law-abiding people at risk. As the nation continues to grapple with double-digit murder incidents so far this year, critics and community groups are calling for greater clarity and action. Organizations like Downtown Owners and Merchants Association have asked for public explanations on the ZOSO legislation and what alternatives the government is considering to improve safety. We'll continue to follow this story closely and bring you updates as they develop.
Now, I mean, just hearing that, what are your thoughts on, do you think the ZOSO bill would have changed anything?
I believe that maybe with a different approach and not just the high-risk communities where persons feel like it's not targeted in that audience way properly, maybe it definitely would have a different outcome to what's happening.
Because these ZOSO bill is not something, they didn't just shut it down and say, no, this is not going to work. It's like it needed to be, you know, more effort needed to go into the structure of it. And just as you said, you know, not just high-risk communities, but make it a bit more inclusive, that you're not, you know, differentiating or stereotyping these communities more than they already are. Additionally to that story, the 3 victims that were tragically killed this weekend were 18-year-old, one being an 18-year-old, Jesus Sargent, a 29-year-old, Kyle Alexander, and then the last one, which happened near Grand Bazaar, was Curtis Bird Pear. And these are 3 young people, young individuals with lives ahead of them, or they had lives ahead of them, right? But it really is sad to see a story like this in the headlines, and I, you know, hope that each of their families can get through this tough time, as unfortunate as it is. So, moving on this morning.
Another note, according to local reports, a surge of Saharan dust now affecting Trinidad and Tobago, prompting health and weather warnings across the nation. Report says high concentrations of dust particles from the Sahara Desert have been moving across the Caribbean and are now reducing air quality in Trinidad and Tobago. This phenomenon has been described as dangerous dust because of the threat it poses to people's health and safety. Experts explain that this dust originates thousands of miles away in the Sahara Desert in Africa, where strong winds lift mineral dust into the atmosphere. The dust is carried across the Atlantic Ocean and spread over the Caribbean, a natural but sometimes intense occurrence. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service reports moderate to high concentrations of Saharan dust in the atmosphere, creating hazy skies and warmer, drier conditions across both islands. Meteorologists advise that sensitive persons, especially those with respiratory or heart conditions, take precautions. Health officials warn that exposure to Sahara dust can result in irritated throats and bronchial passages, itchy, watery eyes, coughing and sneezing, worsening of asthma and other lung conditions. Particularly at risk are children, the elderly, and those with pre-existing respiratory or cardiopulmonary illnesses. Persons are advised to stay indoors when levels are high, avoid strenuous outdoor activity, keep medications or inhalers close if you have asthma, and consider wearing protective masks when going outside. So again, we'll continue to keep you informed as this dust patterns evolves and provide guidance on how to stay safe in these conditions.
Thank you for that, Takia. Now, moving on to another story, and this one in more political news. The People's National Movement has officially begun the nomination process ahead of the upcoming local government elections. According to a party statement, nomination packages are now available for potential candidates interested in contesting seats that the party does not currently hold, with forms accessible from Belize House in Port of Spain starting Monday, February 23rd. These nominations will run through until March 31st. This move aligns with political announcements made earlier this year that local government elections are due by mid-2026. The last polls for councillors and aldermen having been held on August 14, 2023. For context, in the last local government elections, the two major parties, the PNM and the United National Congress, each controlled 7 of the 14 regional corporations, and local elections are often seen as a testing ground for national party strength. So there's a lot of conversation around, okay, the PNM is contesting in the local government elections. How it will be, interesting to see how strong the party actually is now, or who they get. Who are the persons that want to even go up to represent the People's National Movement. So at this nomination, as the nomination phase gets underway, political watchers will be closely monitoring the candidates' step forward, who steps up, and how that may shape voter sentiment heading into, I think, what promises to be a really, active and very debate-centered election season. This is something that I really want to get into, so hopefully we can have a conversation surrounding this later this week. So stay tuned for that if we do make that happen. Now, finally, some news from some international news. We have Sahara dust, a Sahara dust issue here, but in the United States, New York to be specific, they have a snow problem. Millions of people, especially in New York City and the surrounding states, are under blizzard warnings and strict travel bans as heavy snow and strong winds create near whiteout conditions. I think I saw even Caribbean Airlines canceled all their flights to New York this week. The National Weather Service is describing the system as a classic bomb cyclone. That's when a storm rapidly intensifies as air pressure drops sharply within 24 hours. And that rapid strengthening is exactly what happened in New York. So snow has been falling at rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour in some areas. Since Sunday, several locations have recorded well over a foot of snow. And I've seen this for myself. I have family that lives in New York, and they sent videos of how bad it is. It is the worst it has been in a very, very long time. The snow is like in some instances up to their waist. So it's definitely a time where you could check in with family if you have family living in these areas. Now, at Long Island MacArthur Airport, snowfall reached 22.5 inches by Monday morning. About 18 inches were reported in Newark, and roughly 15 inches blanketed Central Park. Blizzard warnings stretch from Maryland all the way up to Maine, and conditions have been described as nearly impossible for any type of travel. More than 5,000 flights in and out of the United States were canceled Monday, with major disruptions across New York, New Jersey, Boston, Rhode Island's main airport was also temporarily suspended, has also temporarily suspended operations. Even food delivery services like DoorDash paused deliveries completely in New York City. And it's not just travel alone being affected. More than 500,000 customers along the East Coast were left without power. In Massachusetts alone, over 200,000 outages were reported due to the snow. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says restoration efforts will begin as soon as it is safe to do so, but with wind gusts reaching up to 50 miles per hour, crews are being forced to wait until conditions improve to do any sort of clearing up. Schools in New York and Boston were also closed, with officials calling it the first old school snow day in years. Public transit was suspended in some areas and emergency declarations were issued across multiple states. Forecasters say snowfall should taper off today, but the cleanup and power restoration could take several days to weeks. It is a powerful, so that is a very, it just goes to show, I mean, seasonally, we don't have issues like this.
Yeah.
However, there has been a lot of talk surrounding like these cold fronts happening, especially in places that don't normally snow, like Florida, Miami. They have been getting cold fronts, and I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like we've been getting cold fronts as well.
Yes, a bit, actually.
In the night especially.
Yeah.
It has been very oddly cold.
Yes.
At night, natural wind, but I do wish, everyone in New York and the surrounding states and the surrounding areas, I wish you safety. I hope you stay safe, stay indoors. I messaged one of my friends that live in New York currently, and I'm like, how bad is it? And they're like, really bad. I haven't been outside in 2 days. They're staying inside because inside is warm, outside is freezing. So it's just, they can't do much. They just have to sit out and wait. But like I said, reach out if you do have family abroad. Reach out and just check in. Nothing, it wouldn't hurt to check in. So that brings us to the end of our news updates. For now, we are going to take a quick break. Stay with us and we'll be right back.
It all comes down to this. From the prelims up to the quarterfinals, 8 judges have sat in these chairs and 10 contestants have stood on the other side of this mic. Tonight, we're up to the semi-final round and down to our 6 top scoring stars and a new 3-piece panel of judges. Tonight, you'll see and be the judge of performances by the 6 contestants who have made it to the semis. That's right, you get to vote. So log on and get in on the act at coverstar.live. This is Coverstar, where music history meets its next voice.
Don't stop.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why.
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
Our award-winning show is back, and this season promises to be even more exciting than before. What's Up, Doc isn't just a title. It's a call to action for anyone who wants to improve their health and well-being. Join us on this thrilling ride towards better health on WESN Content Capital.
This is Face of Sports, WESN Content Capital. How you felt about the kiss on the lip?
That's the business. I'm not to do with that.
I find that was distasteful.
The national senior team, whether you like it or not, that is the model for all other teams to follow.
I'm assuming that the regional requirement may be a much stricter requirement.
This is not about Pro League and Super League. This is a league run by the Normalization Committee that I'm responsible for.
Nobody expected FIFA to fund this arrangement.
If we don't get a professional attitude towards this, we are doomed for failure.
You break the balance, trip the leg, control the body.
They ain't gonna stand put forever.
Why you want the Chiefs to lose so? Why you want the Chiefs to lose so?
They already have 2. Lamar don't
Why?
have.
You're jealous because you know the Chiefs getting closer to the Patriots. Let's go to the last part.
No,
of this game.
no.
Let's go to the last part.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
And it's now you don't need to register nothing. You don't need. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
They believe we defend criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploiting the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
SM Group International Limited, your solutions partner for the latest innovations, brands, and competent staff to meet your needs. We provide products and services in the following divisions: executive services, event rental and services, power and heavy equipment, construction and property management, food and beverage, aggregate and sales and distribution. Check out more on our products and services at www.smgrouptt.com. Contact us at 221-7445 or email at info@smgrouptt.com. We are SM Group International, your solutions partner.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide: Center City Mall, Chaguanas, and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. The distance from where we should be in the world in going forward on our commitments with climate change.
The effects of climate change that cannot be accounted for, it's called loss and damage. And we're seeing loss and damage happening so much more in this decade and the previous decade.
The principal term there was this question of the correspondent banking issues.
That is why we're trying to build capacity with this country here, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region. Man is not showing any signs of stopping or even slowing down. More than half of the forest in Trinidad is already gone.
All the plants and all the animals and all of the nice clean water and fresh air and everything had to be on this planet for humanity to have a chance.
We have small change when it comes to countries that can take decisions, and when they speak, the world listens.
The General Assembly is a very democratic forum. And Trinidad and Tobago has the same vote as Canada, in spite of the obvious difference in size.
Money is something we all deal with, but how many of us truly understand it? What if you could make better decisions with your money? Decisions that secure your future, protect your family, and bring you peace of mind. I'm Darren Jacobs, and I'm here to help you make sense of your dollars. Welcome to Dollars and Cents, the show that breaks down the financial world in ways that matter to you. No jargon, no confusion, just real conversations about money, your money. So join me every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on WESN for Dollars and Cents.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity, from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Hi, I am Emiliana Beechan, and I am a mental health and conflict resolution consultant. Welcome to Mind Matters, the show where we explore the intricate world of mental health and the art of conflict resolution. Join us as we hear from mental health professionals, conflict resolution experts, and everyday people who have transformed their lives through understanding and communication. Mind Matters, coming soon to WESN Content Capital.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond
want
to me. Respond to me. How you would respond to me?
The first question I'll ask is why.
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
Our award-winning show is back, and this season promises to be even more exciting than before. What's Up, Doc isn't just a title. It's a call to action for anyone who wants to improve their health and well-being. Join us on this thrilling ride towards better health on WESN Content Capital.
This is Face of Sports, WESN Content Capital. How you felt about the kiss on the lip?
That's the business. I'm not to do with that.
I find that was distasteful.
The national senior team, whether you like it or not, that is the model for all other teams to follow.
I'm assuming that the regional requirement may be a much stricter requirement.
This is not about Pro League and Super League. This is a league run by the Normalization Committee that I'm responsible for.
Nobody expected FIFA to fund this arrangement.
If we don't get a professional attitude towards this, we are doomed for failure.
You break the balance, trip the leg, control the body.
They ain't gonna stand put forever.
Why you want the Chiefs to lose so? Why you want the Chiefs to lose so?
They already have 2. Lamar don't
Why?
have.
You're jealous because you know the Chiefs getting closer to the Patriots. Let's go to the last part.
No,
of this game.
no.
Let's go to the last part.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
In the studio, you don't need to register nothing. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
They believe we defend criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploited the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
SM Group International Limited, your solutions partner for the latest innovations, brands, and competent staff to meet your needs. We provide products and services in the following divisions: executive services, event rental and services, power and heavy equipment, construction and property management, food and beverage, aggregate and sales and distribution. Check out more on our products and services at www.smgrouptt.com. Contact us at 221-7445 or email at info@smgrouptt.com. We are SM Group International, your solutions partner.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide: Center City Mall, Chaguanas, and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
Welcome back to AM Prime this morning. Now, Carnival is over, but that doesn't mean we can't still have conversations around it. Now, Carnival is often described as a festival, but what if we saw it instead as a system of knowledge, movement, and urban intelligence? From March 10th to the 12th, the Meeting Place Festival returns to Trinidad for its landmark 5th edition under the theme Urban Transit Carnival of Creatives. This is hosted at the Central Bank Auditorium in Port of Spain. The festival brings together artists, researchers, policy thinkers, and cultural practitioners to explore Carnival not just as a spectacle, but as a lived philosophy and public memory. Joining us this morning is Mariel Barrow, CEO and founder of Caribbean in Transit, to discuss the significance of this 5th edition and what it means for Trinidad and the wider Caribbean. Good morning, Mariel.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning and just shed some light on this event. I will start by asking, now the Meeting Place Festival is in its 5th year. What does reaching this milestone represent for Caribbean in Transit, for the region? What does that mean to you?
So it is, we are in our 15th, actually beyond our 15th year of running. So it's a really exciting time for us. And in the past, we have partnered with significant institutions to bring this festival to life, including the Department of, the humanities departments at universities of the West Indies. We have partnered with the Inter-American Development Bank in Washington, D.C. And so the festival has always been embedded in institutions. And this is the first time that we are pushing even further to put it more into the public space and hosting it at a more public venue at the Central Bank Auditorium. So it's an exciting time for us. And it's exciting because this is an opportunity and a time when, as creatives and as an industry, we have to start bringing stakeholders together to really put in place the systems that are going to carry us forward. There are carnivals all over the world. The creative industries across the world are significant income earners. And if we want it to be the same for us, we have to put the systems in place. And so this is an industry-facing event, even while we interrogate the meaning of Carnival, the resistance, the forms of resistance, and so on. So it's bringing the two together, and that's a moment to be reckoned with.
Right. Now, the theme this year being Urban Transit Carnival of Creatives, what does that theme mean in practical terms? What can we expect out of that theme?
So, you know, to begin with, we're going to have the performances. So we actually have a play by Wayne and Louis Leasing called Play Mass with Shakespeare. And I'm extremely excited about this because it, you know, it turns Shakespeare on its head. It uses Carnival as a mode of interrogation. So it's really doing the work that we want the thematic to do. And in addition to the performance being staged and free of charge, it's followed by a question and answer to dig even deeper into what this means for us as creatives, as students, as citizens in a country, and how we need to push through that, and it's our responsibility to do so. So we have, you know, the performance aspect of things, and then we have panel discussions with artists, with academics who are coming together, with educators who are coming together to think about, for example, how do we shift education to ensure that we are preparing our students both for the technological age, right, and the age of AI and so on, and ensuring that we don't get lost as a people in the mix of this, right? Because when you talk about AI, you always hear that, oh, you know, the global South is not represented in AI. Our authenticity is not there. And so that notion of inclusion is a really important question. So we're dealing with programming in terms of education. We're dealing with Old Talk. So we have a kind of panel structure called Old Talk, where we look at memory and archives and Juve. We have persons like Sonia Dumas, also, you know, giving workshops. We also have a number of ambassadors who are joining us. The ambassador of France, His Excellency Guillaume Pierre, the ambassador of Colombia, His Excellency William Bush, ambassadors from Mexico and Venezuela, amongst them, and there are more, right? And they're coming together to examine what is this notion of cultural diplomacy, and how do we really anchor and use our culture in a meaningful way, not only in diplomacy, but beyond. So it really is a gathering of the stakeholders of the industry, and it's an important moment in that regard.
Right. Now, I want to ask, you know, when this first started, was there a gap or something that you were trying to fill in, you know, our cultural practices? And I'll just say this, you know, do you think that we sometimes underestimate that, you know, the intellectual and policy value of our cultural practices here in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to Carnival?
Absolutely. I mean, Carnival is becoming more and more a commercial venture, which is a good thing, right? But the richness of our Carnival is really in its authenticity and in the meaning, right? And the history in which it started. So we have to find a way to balance those things. So that's one aspect of the gap.
I think it's more so bringing that back, you know, as you said, you know, kind of keeping the authenticity of Carnival. In my opinion, I think it was not lost, but we're losing it, or we're losing it.
Diluting, right?
Yeah.
Right, and that's not to say that both representations aren't valid. They are, right? But what happens when it goes all the way to the commercial element and we've lost the heart of it? You know, is it going to have the same resonance on the world stage, right? Because the world stage wants something authentic. Yes, we need it to be kind of packaged in an accessible way for others to understand, but they still want to see something that's different. They still want to experience a rich production of a culture that is other than theirs. And we have that. So we have to think about really, how do we shape this and how do we support the cultural producers that are working in this way? And that's definitely a gap.
Right. Now, when you say that, I'm thinking there are, as you mentioned, there are a lot of other countries that do take the carnival and they put on their own show at different times of the year. Now, when we look at commercializing carnival, do you consider that taking our culture, and I'm talking about the really authentic, old school carnival, and sharing that with other communities, other countries, other cultures, and is it a form of, I guess, how to put it, selling our culture to them?
It depends on how it's done,
right?
Mm-hmm. And oftentimes you find that culture as a ministry, even, it's grouped together with different other industries. So sometimes you find it with culture and tourism, sometimes it's culture and sport, youth and community affairs, and so on. And so we have to ensure with these groupings that culture isn't lost and that we are doing it for the people. And so while we are doing this festival and having this element of panel discussions and performances and round tables and old talk, we're also running courses. So I'm teaching a course at UE, Mona, and one of our colleagues who's part of the festival is teaching a course in South Africa at Witwatersrand University in South Africa. And what we're doing is we're investigating this festival, this notion of the festival, and this notion of culture, and how do we keep it authentic. And it's only through that deeper level of investigation that we can ensure that we are doing it for ourselves, and that notion of ritual and ceremony and so on is preserved in an authentic format, and then we can share it with the world. If we do it in the other direction, where we start with, oh, let's share, let's package this and create this to share it, that's when we risk losing the core of the work that we're doing, right? It has to be for us first. And, one of the famous Caribbean thinkers, Rex Netterwood, has a book called Inward Stretch, Outward Reach. It means dig deep into yourself first before you reach outward to give to others, right? So you have to be whole in your, curation and creation of culture before you can stretch outward. And so this is essentially what this festival is about. How do we go back a little bit so that we can ensure that we are doing this thing in the way that represents our cultural confidence for our people, builds our people, and then we can share outward. And that's when it's going to have more power.
Right. Now, I think I could, based on what you're saying, I think I could figure out the answer to this next question. But I must still ask, why was Trinidad chosen as the anchor location for this milestone edition of the festival?
So, Trinidad is where Carnival began in many ways, right? We're going to claim
some might
that.
Say it's the best carnival.
There's steel pan involved in that. But Trinidad is also my home. I'm from Trinidad. I, moved and lived and worked in different Caribbean islands. I always come home to do programming because I believe that it's important to respect and honor my roots. So I practice what I preach, Yes, we are about collaboration and South-South dialogue. So collaboration with the global South, and this is why we have outreach to Africa, and one leg of the festival is in Africa and one leg of the festival is in the US. But we have to start where it starts. So the Caribbean leg of the festival starts in Trinidad, especially with this notion of Carnival of Creatives. We invite other carnivals to get involved, and we start the conversation here so that it's harbored, in the space in which it began, which is real.
That definitely sounds like a great place from where you and how you explained it. So my question would be, what drive the passion initially? Like, if you can think back and remember, what made you so passionate to want to not have it, as we were talking about, diluting it so much and preserving the culture with Carnival? What was that first step or first challenge that you would have noticed to want to make this difference happen?
So one of the, as I said, I deal with a systems level, right? So there's first the cultural node and the opportunity to look at it in classrooms and to teach it to children and to practice it in communities. So there's that aspect, and investing funding in that aspect of things. And then as a second layer, there's the measurements of the work that we do. So there are those two things that we're dealing with it, and we deal with it simultaneously, right? Because they're both gaps. So we're dealing with it in the classroom where we're asking students, what is a festival to you? What festivals have you experienced? What Caribbean festivals have you become a part of? And then we're also creating this dashboard for festivals. And I'm super excited about this because, as I said, systems is a major gap. We do not have the mechanisms in place to measure the impact of our festivals. And so for core festivals that are indigenous, that are community-based, that are arts-oriented, etc., we don't have the mechanisms to figure out, okay, we put this into it, we had 500 people registering, we had 800 people attending, and then at the end of the festival, this is what happened. 5 MOUs were signed, 10 people got funding, 50 collaborations emerged from it. We don't have the mechanisms to measure that. So we are creating a dashboard that structures these pipelines for festivals and then allows us to come together to bring the information together and measure festivals. I can't express to you enough how important that is in our arena in order to do the work effectively, both of the creation and of the measurements. Because if you create, but there's no way to measure it, then you can't get the investment to continue creating. So it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm. Do you, in your opinion, based on, this festival, this not being the first edition of the festival, have you seen any sort of, what am I looking for? Sorry. The assistance or just interest by governments to, support, be part of the conversations involving this, the cultural, sharing our culture fitting into, different policy conversations. Have you all gotten support in that regard?
Absolutely, and we have gotten support in the past from, as I said, the Inter-American Development Bank, where we did, we hosted one of the festivals editions with them in Washington, D.C. We did a panel discussion. We did an exhibition that lasted, stayed up for 6 months, and we did a full concert with Alison Hines. It was exciting. So we have seen that, and we have seen more proliferation of regional funds for the creative industries. And full disclosure, I was, incepted one of the first funds in that regard, the Cultural and Creative Industries Innovation Fund at the CDB. And so I'm very, very well aware of the playing field on that policy level as well. We now have the Caribbean Culture Fund. We had Transcultura out of Cuba, UNESCO Transcultura. So we have a number of these instruments now that are doing the work. However, we still have that gap in terms of coordinating all of these instruments, not just the funds, but also the national ministries that are doing work, the community members that are doing work in order to measure. And so this is why this measurement aspect is so important at this juncture, because the work has been happening. But if we still can't fully measure it across different players, then we still have a major gap.
Yeah.
And in any industry, that measurement is critical. It's the foundation for any industry. This isn't unique to the cultural and creative industries.
Right. Now, when it comes to young people, because I think young people we should value a space for young people in each sector. Yeah. What opportunities exist for young creatives within the festival?
So the festival is definitely catered to students as well, right? And so this is why we have these question and answer sessions where we can break things down further for them if they're, if they're terms they don't understand, when they have different perspectives on things, because they will have different perspectives. So, and in addition to that, in recording the festival and through the platforms that we curate, both an academic journal as well as technological platforms, we then package this material so that students can access it as learning material. And as that's another, obviously, a thing that's dear to my heart. I'm an academic, so I'm an educator. And so packaging that information, being able to share it on the spot and then packaging it is important. Why is it important for them to be there? Because they have a voice and we need to hear their voices in the conversation. It can't just be that they are consuming the information on the other end. They have to be present so that their questions are heard, that their perspectives are heard, and it can be entered into the decision-making frameworks that we are establishing at this juncture by bringing all of these diplomats and policymakers and funders and creatives together. So students are really important in this, and we absolutely encourage schools, universities to reach out, to bring your students en masse. It is a free engagement. We ensure that we are doing the work to make sure that it's free so that our creatives and our students and those who may not be able to afford it can attend.
Wow. So I think you started to answer it a bit, but what is some of the outcomes or long-term outcomes that you'd like to see happen for the 3 days of hosting an event like this?
That's a wonderful question. Thank you for that. So we are trying to create pipelines, and you know, my colleagues at you know, our team members, they're like, well, Mario, what do you mean by pipelines? That means we are trying to trace things from the inception. So from the beginning of the festival, for example, like, again, how many people attended the festival, what sessions did they attend, you know, what were they trying to get out of it? Did they achieve that? Did they meet people? Did they get a deal? That's a pipeline. So we're trying to create those pipelines so that we can trace them, we can see them, and we can then say to governments and other potential investors, this is what has come out of the festival. This is why it's important to invest, because there's a ripple effect, right? But if we can't trace that, we can't tell that story effectively. So that's the importance of data, both in terms of numbers, but also in terms of the stories that you tell. Capturing that in one place is one of the things that we're doing. But we're also packaging that lived reality and those intersections for deeper levels of education, as I mentioned. So we have an academic journal that we publish. We've published 7 issues thus far. It's in several languages. It has hundreds of contributors. And it's a space for cultural entrepreneurs, artists, and so on, and academics to speak to the culture in meaningful ways. It's an open access journal. However, libraries can purchase it. So all of this information then feeds back into the journal so that we have actual documents of what occurred and the voices that were in this mix. So it's also an opportunity for creatives, students, and so on to publish and to build their academic careers, to build their research practices. So those are some of the outcomes. And then again, it's about really having those unified kind of think tanks of different kinds of stakeholders in one room and creating an engine where they continue to talk to each other, it is documented, and we can build systematically. So building and building blocks is really what we are about, and making sure that we can do it consistently, meaningfully, and in ways that others can translate.
Now, for viewers watching and listening to the conversation right now, what would you say for, you know, who is the target audience? Who should attend this event? Is it just academics? Is it artists? Is it the regular Jane and Joe that's listening?
So, and thank you again for that question. It is the regular Jane and Joe, absolutely, right? Because we are all a part of Carnival, many of us, most of us, right? And if you're not a part of it, you have something to say about it as to why you're not a part of it, right? So it's even interesting from that point of view. But absolutely for students, for cultural practitioners, cultural builders, artists, for creative entrepreneurs, those who have been able to make it and are interested in making it into a business. We have that business aspect of things, intellectual property and intellectual property valuation and so on. For educators, we have panels on education and how we must invest in education, the kinds of formats and frameworks we need to put into that, the kind of content, as well as the bankers who need to understand how this culture thing works, because one of the challenges for financial institutions is what we call de-risking the sector, right? We consider it a high-risk sector because when you inject funds, or if you give a cultural practitioner a loan, they can't necessarily pay it back month to month. So we need different kinds of frameworks and products, called financial products for the creative industries to make it investable and sustainable on that level. And so those discussions are really important as well. And we need to have everyone in the room for a robust discussion that can actually produce meaningful, outcomes.
Right. As you said that, what type of or what conversations do you hope leave the biggest impact after March 12th?
I am particularly interested in this festival dashboard, right? But the thing about how we curate this dashboard is that it has all of the elements. It has the educational component. It allows for cross-border collaboration, and archiving and so on. So this festival dashboard is let's call it a one-stop shop, right? That not only allows you to curate the festival in a meaningful way and capture the knowledge and the discussions and so on in one space for good archiving, but then it also has the business element to it. And why is this important? Again, a lot of the platforms that we use in these ways are not owned by us. They're not owned in the region. So we don't actually get the data, the aggregated data, meaning the data from all the different elements. You may have some of your own data, right? You can go onto Instagram and see how your business and your post has performed, but you can't see the data for another festival. So you can't compare it. You can't bring it together to say this domain, meaning the subsector of festivals in Trinidad or in the region, produces this amount of money, this amount of output in various ways. We need to own that data. That is where the influence and the power is. And so this is about owning our data, coming together on one platform, sharing our data amongst, us, so that we don't always have to look outside for the things that we create, right? The value isn't always then going outside and bypassing us. That's a really, really important issue.
So on the flyer, it has hybrid and in-person. So can you shed more light on the hybrid and in-person? And is there tangible tickets, or is there a site that persons can go onto to register for the event?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website, caribbeanintransit.info, and that's spelled CARIBEAN, in transit, INTRANSIT.info. INFO. And you can register there. We need everyone to register because, of course, it's free. So we need to ensure that we have a space for everyone and we're prepared to host you in a meaningful way. We also want to know how many students, how many entrepreneurs we're going to have in the space, so that our panels and our discussions address the audience meaningfully.
So, as you were expressing before, were there any challenges encountered or any challenges that you may still be having to combat right now, and how can the public or how can we help with it?
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, we just need people to register at this point. We've done the work as a team to bring the important voices together, but the audience's voice is just as important. So we need to see people there. We need folks to show up. We need teachers and parents to bring their children and their students. We need aunts and uncles to say, hey, my niece or my nephew is arts oriented and their parents don't know what to do with them. Send them to us, right? We know how to help. So we just need the public now to, bolster us, support, come out, share, and reach out to us if there's something that you can offer to make this an even more robust endeavor.
Yeah. Before we close, I want to just pivot on Takia's question a bit. And when it comes to the challenges, do you foresee any challenges within the conversations and around the development of, this sector and the cultural side of things, and, moving forward with all the plans that y'all have when it comes to this festival?
Well, there's always a challenge in that, you know, culture is kind of treated as the stepchild, right? You know, we talk a lot about it, we recognize how important it is, but then we don't actually get around to investing in it in the way that it needs consistent investment.
Yeah.
That's a continuous challenge. We are well aware of it in the sector, but some of us are diehards. Right? It's almost like no matter what they do us, we're going to come back.
Yeah, and I know there has been a lot of conversation around, you know, how can we further develop Trinidad and Tobago, you know, and it's like, do we go into agriculture? Do we harness tourism? And then now we have this cultural side of things, and it's like, I think it's a really good idea to, you know, harness the power we have when it comes to carnival, because we do have one of the best carnivals on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, and
not just that, we've produced, there are more than 55 carnivals that have come out of our carnival.
Yes.
So what does that say? Other people are capitalizing on it.
Exactly, we are the blueprint, and as you said, we have to claim that and let more things come out from us, and it's not us looking out to see how we can change our carnival. We came up with it. That's ours.
Like,
so
that's what we call cultural confidence, is we thing. Right?
Yeah.
We have to respect it as we thing and move it forward. It's our responsibility.
Well, thank you so much, Marielle, for coming on this morning and chatting with Taki and I, and just sharing the event to our audience. We just want to reiterate how persons can access the link to register, if you'll just go over that one more time.
Absolutely, and thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure speaking with you all. The link to register is CaribbeanInTransit.info, so CARIBBEAN in transit, INTRANSIT.info. And you can register there and, you know, show up. We have 3 days of, you know, enjoying ourselves in the cultural space, talking about culture, and you know we love to talk as people, so come out. Come out and learn, come out and be a part of it, come out and meet new people.
Yeah, if you register and you cannot come all 3 days, would it be a problem in terms of if you come out the second day and not the first day, you might feel lost or like you missed anything?
No, because they're individual panels, and you know, presenters are very seasoned. They would tend to reference something that happened in another panel. So it kind of keeps, you know, it kind of brings you up to date, and then you can go back and look at the recorded panel online, which is, again, a really important facet of this.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again, Marielle. Yeah, I think it sounds like it can be very promising to our culture especially. And we would love to have you back on post-festival, maybe later on, just to discuss, you know, how it all went and what are the plans moving forward since the festival.
I would love that. Thank you. It's really been a pleasure chatting with you, young ladies.
Definitely. Do enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe.
Same to you. Thank you.
All right. So that wraps up AM Prime this morning. And just keep in mind you can register if you are interested in this festival. We'll put the flyer back up. You can check out Caribbean in Transit, their website for the registration link, as well as more information on the festival itself. This is the Meeting Place Festival, Urban Transit Carnival of Creatives, 5th edition. All right, so as always, we will leave you with this. This time I got a really simple quote. I said, you know what? I think I needed this as well. The time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time, right? Yeah. So it just means, you know, don't beat yourself up if you find that you're lying around all day, if you're just trying to rest.
Yes.
If you enjoy, you know, doing nothing, then it's not wasted time, because you also have to make time for reset, relaxation, R&R, right? So definitely keep that in mind, especially as you go about the rest of your day. don't beat yourself up if you do nothing today. Right?
That's still something.
That's still something.
It's still something.
Right? All right, so we will see you back here again tomorrow morning. Please be safe, stay inspired, stay informed, and Tiki and I will see you back here again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
WESN. Don't stop.
It all comes down to this. From the prelims up to the quarterfinals, 8 judges have sat in these chairs and 10 contestants have stood on the other side of this mic. Tonight, we're up to the semi-final round and down to our 6 top scoring stars and a new 3-piece panel of judges. Tonight, you'll see and be the judge of performances by the 6 contestants who have made it to the semis. That's right, you get to vote. So log on and get in on the act at coverstar.ac.uk.